might have changed had you done something differently. I feel like that when I had a cardiac arrest in October of 1994 and got the word from my cardiologist that if you hadn't been in the ER when it happened, you wouldn't be here. You were fortunate that that's where it happened. And then the next thing the man suggested is, I tell him he wrote the most expensive prescription I ever filled, because he said, if you want to stay alive, you got to reduce the stress that you've been living under, and the only way you can do that is to sell your radio stations. Well, I had time to lay on a hospital bed and think about that for a couple of days, 3 or 4, whatever, and I realized that I sort of preferred life. But I'd had a good run because I'd had a lot of good people working for me. It was an ongoing project, and I feel like maybe it could still be ongoing because of a couple of things that I became aware of. One, we were the station as far as beach music was concerned. No one else in the whole country ever programmed radio with beach music 24/7, and we did. And we did it for something approaching 7 years. As a matter of fact, the records that I have seen, the station was purchased and moved to Charlotte, and it has never achieved an audience the size of the beach music audience in the Charlotte market to this day. The station is probably considered a success because it reaches a certain demographic that the ad agencies want to reach, and it wasn't the demographic that we were reaching, and so they changed the music to whatever it's called. I'm not sure if it's the dead end or the living end or whatever end it is. It's the end, and I don't listen to it because I can't handle that stuff. But I do feel that the record still stands, that if you wanted an audience, and you wanted an audience with current buying power and not potential buying power that you get when you program the kind of music that's currently offered to reach an 18 to 24 male demographic, we had the people who could buy the houses and could buy the cars and could go to the beach and have time, have disposable income. That's not what they wanted to do with the radio station, and that's not what they are doing with it. But I still have the satisfaction that in the Charlotte market alone we had a larger audience, but we also had an audience that showed up in the ratings in the Greensboro, Winston-Salem market almost as large as the Charlotte market. And Rowan County is part of the Charlotte market, which is still the base that you have to reach to be successful. But those are the kind of things which over the years gave me the satisfaction that what we had invested our time in and what we had directed the efforts of a lot of good people. I know this, in my heart of hearts, I believe that at least 2/3 of all the people who ever worked at WSTP and WRDX are doing better today than virtually any of their cohorts from other stations. They learn some things which are no longer available to be learned because radio stations aren't operated the way those stations were. They don't do what I told